Hello, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Halloween. I am back this week, and this week I'm going to do the 1972 movie, The Candidate. And I'm doing this movie as not only a tribute to Robert Redford. This is, I think, one of his lesser known movies. He's known for so many different movies, but The Candidate is a movie I believe, especially since this last week, is worth watching because, of course, the candidate refers to a political candidate. And in the US, we just had an election with some people happy about the results, some people not so happy about the results. And this movie is directed by Michael Ritchie, who, this is not the first time he worked with Robert Redford. He was also the director of the movie Downhill Racer. But also after The Candidate, he directed The Bad News Bears, Semi-Tough, and the 80s classics Fletch, and the sequel Fletch Lives, and also he was the director of The Golden Child. The Candidate is the movie where Robert Redford knew he liked a political movie. This predates All the President's Men, comes out in 1972, so we're right in the thick of Watergate. This is a fictional story of candidate Bill McKay. He is running for U.S. Senate in California. So first he starts out very idealistic. He's like an assemblyman, a local sort of community organizer type guy. And the Democratic Party is looking for a candidate to go up against the Republican candidate. And Bill McKay, besides, being this idealistic candidate who you discover actually grew up in politics. His dad used to be the senator from California. His dad is now retired, and he gets pulled into the political machine. And he tells himself he's not going to win. He's just there to bring recognition to some of the vital issues that he's very passionate about. They actually don't think there's any way he can win at the beginning. But then midway through the campaign, the possibility comes that he actually might win. And that kind of, when that happens, there's a shift in him being this idealistic, fighting for the everyman type of candidate and really chasing after that victory and getting pulled in to what we all think about what's wrong with politics. And it is a really interesting look if you want to go through that whole process of how seemingly an idealistic candidate that you love can seemingly forego all of their values and become part of the political machine that they were striving to fight against at first. So yes, Robert Redford is Bill McKay, the candidate in question. You also have campaign manager, and he's the type of campaign manager that works with a lot of candidates who knows the system. It's Marvin Lucas, played by Peter Boyle. Then you have the character of John McKay, like I mentioned. Bill McKay comes from a political family. His father was a senator of California as well, John McKay, and he is played by Melvin Douglas. You even have a small role by Natalie Wood in this movie. And Natalie Wood and Robert Redford actually went to high school together. They were great friends, especially during this time. I believe this would be their third appearance in a movie together, besides Inside Daisy Clover, and of course This Property is Condemned. But she is playing herself in this movie, and it's just in one scene where it's part of a political conference where she is herself one of the celebrities that gets to go to that type of thing, and he is there as one of the candidates. And they have a brief meeting, and she did this as a favor to Robert Redford. It was nominated for a couple of Oscars in 1973. It actually won Best Writing, Story, and Screenplay based on factual material or material not previously published or produced. And it was also nominated for Best Sound. So it wins in one of the writing categories, and its other nomination is just for one of the technical categories. The screenwriter, Jeremy Larner, who was nominated for that Oscar and won it, was actually a political speechwriter for Eugene McCarthy. And Robert Redford has described this movie as being made as a labor of love. It was shot inexpensively and quickly when it was made. Robert Redford and Michael Ritchie actually shopped the idea around, and when they came to Jeremy Lerner, they realized he was the man to write this because of his previous political experience. But he was also put under pressure to write it because, like I said, they needed to make it cheaply and quickly. So they were trying to get the movie out before the 1972 presidential election. So he had about a month to write the script. If you know anything about script writing, you know a month to write a whole script is not a lot of time. He said he wrote from noon to 3 a.m. every day until it was done. And you can really see his experience working in political campaigns really shine through in the script. He is also a journalist, so that you can see that journalistic slant to it as well. And the candidate that Robert Redford plays is based on U.S. Senator John V. Tunney. The director, Michael Ritchie, who also has political experience, he worked on Tunney's campaign for his 1970 Senate election, which he won. The campaign manager for that campaign, Nelson Rising, was also an associate producer of this film. And between the writer and director's experience on campaigns, political campaigns, there are some scenes in the movie that they draw from their real life experiences. There is a scene in the movie where Bill McKay is berated in a men's bathroom, and this is based on a real incident that happened to Eugene McCarthy. Lerner, the screenwriter, said that the moment when somebody hands you a Coke and a hot dog, it occupies your hands, and then it frees up the guy that handed you that to slug you in the face. And apparently this really did happen to Eugene McCarthy. And Robert Redford had an understanding of how he was perceived by the public. He told Lerner when he was writing the screenplay that he can easily play a character that's dumber than he is, but he can't play a bad guy. The public would not stand for him being a bad guy. So I'd say the candidate falls under political satire. It has humorous moments in it. It has dramatic moments in it. But it's all played to get a point across of how ridiculous this whole political system is sometimes. It was well received when it came out in the New York Times. Vincent Canby called it one of the few good, truly funny American political comedies ever made. In Variety, they called it an excellent topical drama. Gene Siskel gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. He praised Robert Redford's winning performance. And I agree, this is the type of performance that Redford really excelled in. Charles Champlin of the Los Angeles Times wrote that Redford and Ritchie have teamed up again to deliver what I think is nothing less than the best movie yet done about politics in America. And Roger Ebert said that Ritchie brought a sharply observant, almost documentary realism to the film. So it got a lot of critical praise, but it did get critique. Specifically, the Washington Post, ironically, film critic Gary Arnold panned it as a remarkably shallow, hypocritical attempt to satirize the American political process. But overall, it got positive reviews. And it holds a very positive rating. Even people watching it today, people say the candidate may not get all the details right when it comes to modern campaigning, but it captures political absurdity perfectly. A prop campaign button is actually on display from this movie in the Smithsonian, and it's on display along with several actual campaign buttons. So if you're interested in politics, if you're interested in looking at a movie that was done in the 70s, that I would say the 70s is sort of our political twin. It still rings true today. It's a very interesting portrait of the campaign trail. You should really give The Candidate a try if you've never seen it. Like I said, I don't think it's one of Robert Redford's better known movies nowadays. It was a moderate hit back when it came out. It was critically acclaimed by most critics, not all, like I said, but also it is in the lasting legacy of Robert Redford movies, who recently passed away. The 70s Robert Redford movies that is when he became the superstar that we know him as. And he is just, because of Robert Redford's personality, of Robert Redford's understanding of what type of movie star he was, he is perfect for this part. And this is also a movie that he helped put together. This is really the starting of Robert Redford's really hands-on approach to movie making. And he made some of the classic movies of all time. He really believed in the art of filmmaking. And I know a lot of people are tired of politics right now and don't want to see it, hear it, or talk about it, because it seems like it's everywhere. But I promise you won't be disappointed in this movie if you check it out. Especially if you're a Robert Redford fan. I really believe this movie just suits him to a T, this character. And the fact that he knew enough of his fame and his movie star status to know that people want to see him likable. People don't care if he's dumb, but he knew he could never really play a bad guy, especially during that time in his career where he was at the top of his fame. But again, my name is Stacia. I am just somebody on the internet that likes to talk about movies. And if you like movies like I do, I invite you to watch more videos on my channel. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up by hitting the like button, even commenting on the videos. I love responding to all of your comments. But I love you all. See you next time. Bye.